Hi everybody, welcome and thank you for spending your precious time with me. Believe me, I know how precious time is, fully aware of it. My household is now in full swing. School, work, and it is totally crazy. I'm also starting a massive campaign against, well, let's call it bullshittery, fraud, and a total lack of accountability, and you can bet on it. I won't stop until it is done. This old woman has had enough. Enough. I have given one of the two parties 24 hours to respond, and if they don't, I will be going full Trump on them. I doubt I'll bring the saga to this particular channel, but I promise I'll take it to every other social media platform available to me. It is indeed an international problem and one big scam, so you guys can look forward to that. You do not tick this woman off when it comes to her dragon man or her own children or her little sweetheart in Canada. You just don't. Okay, so we are now on the same page. Bookworm is pissed off, very angry. I'll certainly let you know where you can go to read about it when the time comes, okay? Then, over the weekend or starting this weekend, I'm going to run a campaign to try and collect funds for the girls, 4 of them, who were selected to represent South Africa as a dancing troupe at Disneyland in Orlando, Florida. It is a massive opportunity for 4 little girls, but as they are still young, 11 and 12, they cannot travel alone and has to be accompanied by a parent. Now forget about the tickets. Just airport tax and other costs are enormous, but it remains something the children worked very hard for and are very excited about, and something the parents do not want to deprive the children of. The one family in particular have twin daughters, so say no more. But I'll post the video and full details over the weekend. So now let's get to today's video. Let's talk for a short while about Harry's second day in court. Folks, I'm doing this for you because as far as I'm concerned, this particular case against A&L is an abomination and a total waste of the court's time. The court should have refused this case in the first place because it had run out of time, whatever you call it, years ago, among other things. But let's check in for a while before we actually then move on to other things. So on day 2, it was A&L's lawyer's turn to speak, and he made it very clear that they had already provided an explanation through a long list of witnesses of the sourcing of just over 50 articles. White also said that the claims against the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday are such that it would have required lying by a number of journalists and other people, and that the probability of such a large number of people lying is highly improbable. Okay, so that was basically, in a nutshell, day 2. I see others are talking about day 2 bombshells. Well, I sort of checked in on Tom Sykes every 3 hours or so, and seriously, I'm still waiting for the bombshells. Even if I take into consideration Elton John's case, Liz Hurley's case, I mean, really, What did the Mail report on that would not have surfaced anyway? It's so wishy-washy. It's all about how they felt, their feelings. Well, last time I looked, feelings are not a reason or reason enough for a High Court case. But as I'm sitting here making notes for today's video, up popped a notification. Harry has just stepped up to the witness box. He took the oath at about 11:45 GMT. There was a sound issue and Judge Nicklin stepped away for a few minutes while it was being fixed. Nicklin returned and Sherborne asked Harry how he would like to be addressed. As His Royal Highness, perhaps? So Harry said, same as last time, and when Sherborne asked him how that was, Harry said he could not remember. So Sherborne decided that Harry would be called Prince Harry. Now guys, that was indeed a gas-lighting tactic. Sherborne reminding the court, including Judge Nicklin, that Harry is royal, the king's son, His Royal Highness. Okay, but I always thought everybody is equal when it comes to the law. Apparently not. Not according to Sherborne. Okay, but now, my darlings, I cannot. I'm totally mentally unable to sit here for an hour or two or three and listen or read updates on Sherborne and Harry verbally dancing around and talking shite. I just cannot do it. I know for a fact I'll get angry and frustrated and my ADHD, ABCDEF will kick in. So I would rather look at it all tonight and summarize for tomorrow. But already I can tell you that it will be one sickly, poor me fest. He has already complained that he was targeted and had faced a sustained campaign of attacks for having the tenacity to stand up to the publisher of the Daily Mail. Huh? Oh, poor baby, all in his drug-addled imagination. We all know about him seeing paparazzi behind trees, paparazzi which no one else could see. Poor bloke, he needs a permanent suite in an asylum or a cottage on one of his father's private estates. And he should be, I'm sorry to say, under 24-hour care and supervision. Shame. I feel so sorry for poor Harry. Just not enough to see him win this case, because that would be an insane travesty of justice. Okay, so let's step away from Harry for a while. We'll get back to the poor sod soon enough. As you likely already know, William and Catherine are in Scotland. Well, my dearie dears, William and Catherine's visit to Scotland may not have been earth-shattering news, but by golly, it is so much better to look at them and everybody around them laughing than to look at Harry and his coiffed lawyer. Oh my, Sherborne's hairstyle is giving me the 1950s granny vibes, and it creeps me out, to be honest. Anyway, William and Catherine visited the Kelpies in Falkirk. They met with the Great Britain and Paralympic curling teams, who will soon be off to the upcoming Winter Olympic Games and the Paralympic Games in Milano Cortina. Thereafter, they went to Radical Weavers, a hand-weaving studio, and finally they went to a pub known as The Goth. So, nothing earth-shattering, but looking through the photographs, it brings joy instead of the irritation of the court photographs of old sweaty Scalp and his auntie lawyer. However, having said all of this, William and Catherine were indeed heckled outside the pub when a member of the public did what they did to Charles. He yelled out, "How long did you know about Andrew? Did you cover for Andrew?" I mean, that was really, really ridiculous. Andrew and his shenanigans had nothing to do with William and never had. Andrew met Epstein in 1999, 27 years ago. William was only 16 at the time. You see, when I dig into stuff regarding Charles in particular, I sometimes walk the thin line between being a monarchist and a Republican. But one of the reasons why I just cannot bring myself to take that final step over to the Republican side is because the Republican side can sometimes be so common and stupid. Goodness, I mean, if you have a serious case to bring, then go shave your face, don a suit, and go fight your case in Parliament or in the media. Shouting ridiculous crap on a sidewalk is the stuff showing you up as fools. And in general, people do not wish to align themselves with fools. Okay, my friends, for now I'm going to take off and deal with the rest of my life, but I will be back tomorrow to deal with the lives of the royal family and more. So until then, please take good care of yourselves and stay safe. Bye.